Okay, this is my build on a brass tumbler for reloading. I had a few parts laying around and I decided to go ahead and use them rather than see them sit around collecting dust. I had 4 pillow blocks, had one 16-inch stainless steel rod, had to order a second rod, had an old pulley off my old compressor that broke down years ago, decided to reuse that, and had to order new pulleys for the reduction system and the drive system on the parallel bars. Bought some square tubing, 1/8 inch, had an electrical box, had to get a cord, and also bought this timer, which is really nice. If you look at this thing, it's got an on-off switch, 5-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, and repeat. And I thought about that. I was like, you know what, that's a pretty nice little device. As far as a controller, I can punch this thing in for 2 hours while I'm cleaning my brass in the tumbler with the stainless steel media, and not have to worry about it, and go back later and, you know, it'll be done and ready for me to sort out. So I went ahead and purchased it. It was only like about $13. I was like, yeah, that's that'll work nice. This is initial assembly. I'm going to go ahead and touch up the welding and send it off for powder coating to make it look real good and also make it last. And then when it gets back, I ordered some rubber isolation feet that I'm going to mount in each corner to eliminate any kind of vibration while it's running. I expect it to make some noise once I get the drum in. That's supposed to be coming in next week, and it's I forget who makes it. It's not Tumbler's tumbler drum. It is a black drum that's exactly the same thing. So I'm looking forward for that to come to my doorstep to actually hear how this thing is going to sound with a gallon of water in it or whatever it takes. So let's I'll go ahead and fire this thing up for 5 minutes, or hit the switch. Do I have it plugged in? Yep, I've got it plugged in. Alright, let's go ahead and fire this up. Okay, there she is running, and it is running smooth as can be. The belt in the rear is a 4L20. It's a 1/2 inch wide, 20 inches long on the outside linear measurement. Forward belt is a 4L38 or 4L380, whatever they want to call it. It's 38 inches. And I allowed room for tightening on this thing, but actually the 39-inch belt was a little too loose, and I didn't want to put an idler pulley on it, so I went with the 38, which was really tight when I put it on. I kind of forced it onto the wheel, and it was a little too tight, you could tell. So I put a couple spacers underneath the motor plate, which worked out pretty nice, man. This thing is running pretty smooth, and I'm not getting any heat on the main shaft out of the motor on small runs. We'll see in the future when we put it under load, but it should be fine. I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. It'll fit right underneath my loading bench and be out of the way where I don't have to worry about it. Did all the electric myself. Not hard. Get a book, learn how to do it. It's not hard. Just got to know your basics. That's BX housing. The motor is grounded. Motor's grounded to the frame. see there, also has a ground wire coming up through the inside of that conduit. The controller here has 4 wires. You've got a ground wire, a common wire, a load wire, and a power wire. So you have to learn how to wire that up correctly. So in other words, you've got your power and your neutral on the left, and your ground is on the bottom on that plug. And you got 4 wires coming out. So black is going to go to the power wire, white is going to go to the common, red is going to go to one side of that motor because that is your load side. Your other white coming out is tied to your common from the motor. We'll have a 3-way junction on that common wire. So you'll have 3 wires coming into that. That's the only thing that might be confusing to you. And of course your ground is ground to ground, green to green. It's basically pretty simple. So all in all, I'm real happy with the experience. It took me about a day and a half of tinkering here and there. I had to do some milling on the shafts. This end has a conical fitting into the pulley, so I had to match that, and that took a little time to match. You had to measure the end of the shaft on this actual wheel, and then go in 1 inch, measure that diameter, which was of course 3/4 of an inch. That's what the shafts are. But that had to go from that small diameter back 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch at that angle. So you had to match that angle. So that took a little time and patience to get that just right. But I took my time and I got it just right. Well, that'll be it for now, folks. I'll update with the follow-up after it's powder coated and I've got the isolation feed on there, and also on these shafts I'm going to be placing 3/4 inch inside diameter rubber fuel line pieces for the canister to roll on. I want to keep things quiet as much as possible. So let's go ahead and shut this thing down. Hit our handy dandy off switch right here, and it's off. Talk to you later.